each word for... Okay. All right. I get it. There's lots of Dantes out there. At least I'm pretty sure it was Dante. I'd have to look it up, but I think his name was Dante. And he and Aaron met. Um, 10 years previous to the beginning of this story. Dante knew that he was going to be leaving within like a week, and basically it was pretty much a whirlwind romance. It wasn't like, think of like those the dime store romance novels that you see with the paperbacks and something like that. It wasn't quite that, but they basically created a relationship during that week. Because I think Dante helped her out of a situation she was in. I can't remember exactly what the situation was, but he helped her out, and they just got to be talking, got to be good friends, and just kind of during that week they saw more of each other, and their relationship was kind of sparking up together. After that week, Erin went back to her kingdom of Varioso, which is where we're going at the beginning of this. Dante, however, went to basically a super soldier program for his kingdom, Horek, which was modifying, like they stuck everybody in like kind of maturation tanks, essentially what it amounted to, and they merged them with basically what amounts to the soul of a dragon, like an actual dragon. And in doing so, I believe there were 8? I can't remember right off the top of my head. I know I named them all, but there were 8 of these soldiers altogether. Each one kind of had an elemental ability. Have you ever seen Highlander, the movie, not the TV series? 2 different things. I've seen the TV series, though I'm not sure about the movie. It's been I've heard of it, but it's been a long time. Anyway, so he basically became the super soldier with the powers of a dragon, and his particular skill set allowed him to manipulate fire. But something went wrong in the whole super soldier thing that eventually all of his former comrades pretty much just exploded. Not like a boom exploded. I mean, like literally just like if you were to inflate a balloon inside them and pop it, and then their entire body just went all over the place. That's basically what happened to all of his comrades. Where he ended up being the only survivor of this entire thing. Yes, so he's in love with her. So that's part of the ache part of it. The whisper part is that Erin herself isn't actually a true elf. She is in the form of an elf, but she's actually a genetically created being called an Angel of Destruction. Where she... I don't think I ever got to the events of that, but she escaped her maturation chamber and wandered into the kingdom of Varioso, where the king and queen took her in as their daughter. So she's not an actual elf, but she has an elven features. She's got the typical green eyes and the long ears, but she has super long white hair, but in her hair she has 4 red streaks. I mean, not... So, and I think the way I had it planned was that the person who created these Angels of Destruction would come and find Erin and basically bring her back. And what she's been, like, these whispers are actually her programmed personality to be this just warmongering extremely powerful warrior leading 6 others that are basically exactly like her. The only difference being is that each one has a different number of red streaks in their hair. So in total, I think there were like 7 angels of destruction, of which I believe she was going to be the leader, Aaron, but she ended up escaping, and now she has basically this like split personality in her head that's warring with herself. So what Korax is hearing, it's kind of like a dog's hearing, because now that he's this super soldier and like this draconic super soldier, he can hear things and see, like all his senses are like super heightened. So he can see and hear things that most normal people can't. So he's hearing the whisper of Aaron's second personality trying to take over. And what everybody sees is that Aaron is basically suffering from... fighting back this second personality all the time. And it looks like a migraine to everybody else. So to set up the whisper part, Aaron is fighting off a second personality. To explain the ache part, Korax is in love. Yeah, he is hearing her migraines. And like it'll probably come up later in the story. Yeah, he is hearing her second her true personality of who she really, really is. He's hearing that. But to Aaron, to Aaron and everybody else that sees her, it just looks like she's constantly fighting off a migraine. And nobody knows what it is. Like, she's grown up with that, as far as anybody knows. But to Korax, he can hear, he can hear these whispers, but they're not fully formed words. They're just kind of like, they're just on the edge of decipherable. Of being able to hear what's being said. So that's kind of like the whole thing that's going on there. Hopefully all of that made sense. I know we're talking about, like, say, 1, 2, 3, like 4 lines here. But that's basically that whole explanation. Okay. I do think a little later on in the same chapter here that I do actually have something that would be kind of more along those lines. I don't fully go into it here. Oh, and that's another thing, I guess, is that the crystals that he has in his swords, think of them, they're probably about, I don't know, maybe about the size of a softball. But think of him like a glass sphere that has like a star in the center of them. And he has like 16 of these long set into the edges of his blade. Not fully on the edge, but kind of like along the edges of his blade. And they change color. They're mood crystals. But as a result of his super soldier program, he basically lost the ability to express his emotions. So now these crystals, when they change colors, kind of give a way for him to actually express them. Who did it? No, he's... let me see. Let me look up the definition first, so that way I'm not just gonna, like, spitting out the side of my mouth here. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we're not quite dealing with centuries here. We're dealing with like a decade. So, but yeah, kind of the same idea. But going back to number, no, like Akudere is someone who, like, just keeps their emotions in check. Corax has lost the ability entirely to show his emotions. It's not that he does not, like, keeps them suppressed. He can't show them. That's it. Yes, yes, Jill. That's kind of what I'm going for a little bit. But there is more that I will reveal a little bit later in the chapter to maybe amp it up a little bit. Because for this, there's a lot I want to try and hint at to try to set up stuff for maybe not a lot, but some things, just plant the seeds for later storylines that happen in the story overall. If that kind of makes sense.